Good morning, everybody. Tommy the Bargain Effect here, bringing you our mid-morning break room show. Derek's a little detained on the phone there. He's going to be finishing up his call, so it's
bringing you our mid-morning break room show.
So it's just me and Anthony starting out this morning. Craig will be jumping in a little late. He had his daughter. He had to run to work on her schedule that he had either earlier this week or last week, so we're just waiting on Derek to finish up, and we'll get rolling here. But Anthony, you want to say hello?
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, guys? My name is Anthony. I have a channel called Pittsburgh, and I do a lot of yard sale, garage sale, estate sale, Goodwill bins, thrifting, basically anywhere I can go get cheap stuff, sell it on eBay for a profit. That's what my channel is all about. I also do a Bible study on Tuesdays, if that's your thing. I invite you to come take a look at that. And I do working hangouts on Saturdays too, like pretty much hang out with a bunch of friends, talk about yard sale pickups, and just list stuff on eBay. So invite you out to that as well.
For sure. And go through the whole introduction thing, but I think pretty much everybody knows who we are, and what I do is pretty much the same thing you do. But before we get started, I just want to say hello and welcome some people in. We got Gate City Picker. We got my other half, the Shamrock Pixie. We got Garage Flips, welcome in. Two Hip Chicks, welcome in, and good morning. And I think Reseller Man, good morning. Kelly, the Ecom Mom, she's joining us this morning. Rebecca Kruder's in here. Diane Matthews, good morning, everybody. Boondock is in here. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I'm very sorry.
Did you get caffeinated, Christy?
I did not get caffeinated, Christy. Welcome in and good morning to you too. Oh, and we got Red Nickerson Resales just jumping in, and every day I'm hustling. Hello.
What's up, guys? Glad everyone could be here today. Really, we say it every morning, but you guys are the lifeblood behind us doing this show, so we really appreciate all the feedback, all the participation, and just you guys being loyal everyday watchers of the show.
And Swamp Picker is joining us as well. BK Vending and Flipping, hey. All right, now I think we're caught up. And today the topic, I don't know how much we'll stay on it, but what I picked for a topic today was listing on eBay, Mercari, and other marketplaces. Nothing super specific, just it seems when you talk to resellers, everybody seems to love sourcing. Most people don't mind shipping. Some people like taking photographs, some don't, but what seems to be the common thing among most resellers is nobody's a big fan of the actual listing part. So, and I am very not a fan of it. It's one of my biggest downfalls that hold me back from growing to what I know I could grow to, is just the motivation and the drive to list. And so I would like to know what drives people to list. Obviously, profits is one thing, but I don't think just profits alone, because I love the profits, but I still don't like listing, and I still slack on it. So what I'm looking for is maybe some motivational things that get me maybe to look at listing a little different, or something to rev myself up into getting more listings done. And then also the processes and practices that you go through with your listing. Like how important do you feel your photographs are? Do you rip through your photographs to get more listings done, or are you more picky about your photographs and the editing of your photographs to have a good quality photo? Is it more quality or quantity? Do you go with the free shipping, free returns, paid shipping, no returns? Does it depend on the item? I just kind of walk through and just kind of start at, first of all, what gets you listing in the morning? Last thing I feel like doing is getting up, grabbing my hats, and start listing them. but they got to be done. So, like, what is your thing that you do, Anthony? That's like, okay, I know I got a list. I want to list. Do you set a goal? Like, I want to list a certain dollar amount or a certain amount of items, or
one thing I've started recently is Lonnie's been doing this thing. As soon as he gets in his shed in the morning, he lists 3 items before he does anything else. So I've been trying to make that a thing the past week or so. Before the show even starts, I try to throw up 3 new listings. Some days that works out good. Some days, life gets in the way, but that's been good accountability for me, is being able to at least try to do that, because 3 listings is manageable. But one of the biggest things that drives me to list is everything that's unlisted. I literally just pile up like right here all the way back. And I'm not a big fan of clutter and chaos like this. So for me, it's like I want to get this stuff off the floor and onto shelves as quick as I possibly can. So I literally keep my death pile right here next to me, so it's like close at all times. So anytime I'm downstairs, it's literally right here, and all I have to do is literally it's within an arm's reach. I just reach over, boom, list. Reach over, boom, list. So my biggest motivation is I want stuff off the floor and up on the shelves.
That might actually help myself, because it's like I have my desk here. This is where I do my listing, but my product is like that I sourced is over there or over there, and I got to get up and walk to it. Versing, I moved this tub of hats here because that's what I'm working on now, and I seem to be ripping through them because I can just, like you say, just grab it, list it, throw it to the side, grab the next one, list it. So that might actually be. Now, do you have like when you go out and I see all your stuff there on the shelf, is it like categorized? Do you list like, oh, I got all these hats, I'm going to list these. I got all these Funko Pops, I'm going to list these. I got all these games. Or is it just whatever you grab? Like, how do you determine what you're going to start listing that day?
I normally list like whatever I'm most excited about first. But typically when it goes on the shelves, I try to put like items with like items. I do need to, and I've been trying to get Ash to help me with this before she goes back to work. I need to actually go through and do like the numbering of totes, numbering of bins, like all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's getting harder to find smaller items now. So I do need to go through and do that, especially because I have like 12 different tubs just of plush right now. I have so much plush. That's getting a little bit out of hand. But the Goodwill near me sells them for 50 cents a piece. So I'll go in there and buy all their Build-A-Bear and Disney stuff, like pretty much once a week. So I definitely need to get a little more organized, though.
I like Tommy's way of doing it with the almost like the barcode. So that's pretty cool how he does his setup.
Oh, so, with the inventory.
Yeah.
And I do want to reflect on what you said about what Lonnie does. I seen that video where he said he was getting up and he was doing 3 new listings before he does anything else. And I believe that's a good idea. But usually when I come down in the morning before the show here, I'm drinking my coffee. I'm not very energized. I mean, I see him. He goes out to his shed and he's like, he's good. He's going. It looks like he's been up for a few hours already. And I just don't have that energy or even the mind where I want to think about, okay, what do I want to price this at? How am I shipping it? So what I do is any item that's been in my store for more than 60 days that's ending that day, I will end the listing and then do a sell similar on it just to get that activity going in the morning.
Gotcha.
That seems to work for me. And then after the show is actually when I start listing new products.
Yeah. Well, like Craig always says, and we always say every time, what works for one person doesn't always work for the other person. So you have to figure out your best way of doing what you need to do. So
one thing I like about Lonnie's setup too is he has this shed, totally separate. His business is totally separate from his house. And ultimately that's my goal. I want to get up, and I think I'd be a lot more productive if I got up and I actually had to go to work, not make a cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette, stroll down into the basement. You know, here's some things that are going on upstairs. Oh, I'm gonna go check that out. See what's up. Why is the bird squawking like that? Something happened. You know, where okay, I'm going out to my shed or I'm going to my store or whatever from 7 o'clock in the morning till 4 or 5 o'clock at night. I think that would produce my productivity too, because like I say, I'm a smoker. I was just talking to Destiny about this yesterday, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna run upstairs and have a quick cigarette, and that quick cigarette turns into Destiny. Oh, did you see this person's YouTube, or did you see what they were talking about? Or and now I'm, we're up there shooting the shit for an hour and a half.
Now, Lonnie says it's way easier to work, and he's actually in his shed right now. Now here's the thing that really gets me. I know that Lonnie put in a intercom system to talk to just in case anything happening in the house.
That's awesome.
Do you see that you're spending more time in there instead of going in the house, or is it where you just want to get in there, get some stuff done, and get out of there? That's what I was always wondering. Me, I would try to get as much done as possible, and then bounce out of there. I don't know. Maybe like you said, okay, 7 to 12, take the hour break, and then go off and do 1 to 6.
Right.
So
he says that was just a test for resale, the intercom.
Okay.
I was gonna say Lonnie needs to be on a like, you ever see like Pimp My Ride? He needs to have like a Pimp My Shed.
Yeah.
He still hasn't finished the peaks. You need to finish the peaks of them.
Who cares about the peaks, man? That thing is sweet.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched that all the way through from when he had his unfortunate incident at the storage unit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I did
all the way through him buying the shed, getting it delivered, setting it up, painting it. I mean, it's sweet. And he really maximized the use of his space in there. I was like, man, how is that going to be big enough? But the way he set it up, he really maximized it.
And he's still working on it. He added another shelf in the back.
I was going to say, now it's looking like he's going to have to stick another shed right next to it because he's pretty full.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Cleveland Picker, eBay. I'm starting to do some Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. I do a lot of toy shows, flea markets, stuff like that. That's what I do. So, but yeah, no, it's. I can see him opening up where the door is put. Not the door. Where the air conditioner is, extending it that way, and then putting a central air system in the hole.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of like separate workspaces, John Cincinnati Picker just posted a video yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he got a new warehouse space, and he has like a little office in the front, and then he has like the storage in the back.
Is that the one that he? They said that his wife said he has his wife throwing him out of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like the perfect type of setup. And I even commented on his video last night. I was like, that's actually what I'm looking for, because like I've already outgrown the basement here. So for me, having like a little, storefront type thing like that, where it's basically storage, would be perfect for me, especially because I would love to have like a little office in the front area where like I come and I pull stuff out the list, and people can come in like anytime, day or night, and sell me stuff. That'd be awesome.
Exactly. I think we live in a smaller town, and there's a place I got my eye on right on Main Street. It's a smaller place, but it's bigger than my basement. But it's not like a place like John Nevermore Antiques has. It's nothing big.
Right.
But just to get the word out that what you do, that I think it would draw in some product that I don't have to go look for.
Right.
And I would probably also do a secondary service out of there, because we don't have any UPSs or FedExs in our town. And I think I would at least offer like a drop spot for people to drop their UPS packages and FedEx. I can schedule, a daily pickup, and then maybe even offer a packing service
Right.
for people that want to ship something that don't exactly know how, like a pack and ship, because we don't have anything like that in the area.
That'd be cool.
So I know one of my friends used to own I know a vintage toy store. Of course, my friends own vintage toy store. Yeah, why not? And he used to, because it was starting to get slow. He
Derek's popular today.
He is.
he definitely he started to say, okay, he put a sign out front that he was doing eBay sales. He was doing it on commission, and he had more stuff coming in just doing that. I mean, plus with people coming and buying this stuff, but it was amazing. And people would be like, okay, well, I want to put this on eBay. So we would check the comps, and it'd be like, okay, if we sell it for you, this is what you get. If I buy it outright from you, this is what you're gonna get. And a lot of times people didn't want to even bother putting it on eBay because of all the fees. And that back then it was only 7%. And so
I just kind of want to catch up on the chat here. Welcome, man. We got quite a few new people, not new people, but new this morning joining us. So we got BK Vending and Flipping. We got Reseller Man, the Cherry Picker. Good morning to you guys. Who else do we have in here?
King of Confetti.
Yep.
Confetti.
Todd.
I didn't even see him jump in. Good morning, Todd. Thanks for stopping in. We got the Cleveland Picker.
Justin here, RVA Flips.
RVA Flips. Justin's here.
Morning, Justin. Thanks for coming in. Dita, how are you? Dita. Flipping Particles. Quite a few.
Yeah.
Neville. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Neville from Australia.
And then Joy, Be the Difference Clothing. Now, when I'm looking for motivation, she is one gal that I love to watch. She is motivating in herself. So if you ever need motivation, jump over to her channel, check her out.
Joy's cool.
I love her Hello World.
It is cool. Yeah.
Good
morning, Cody. So
Flipping Particles. If I'm missing anybody, you guys, let me know. Stuff from Sally. Morning.
Yeah. Kelly says she didn't realize how much inventory she had. She had to move from an apartment to her new house. Yeah. Well, I'm stuck in an apartment, and trust me, it's all around me.
Cody, fishing and picking too. I think I got everybody.
Yep.
If I did skip over you, I am sorry. Did not mean to.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now, when you go, when you guys photograph, what is your theories in photographs? White backgrounds, don't care.
Yeah, I use white background, and then I have like one of the trifold boards, up against the wall, so that way it's white all the way around.
I made myself I went and bought one of the for school projects. I just bought one of the trifolds, cut it in half, and had one part flat, and so I can use the brown on one side, which I'm going to make black, and then the other side's white, because a lot of the stuff I do is some small toys, and most of them are either white or they're black, so I can flip flop. So it makes it easier that way. So
really, all I use for my white background is I pick up window shades, white window shades from the thrift store. They're there all the time, and I just kind of bring them down and do that. What do they call it? Infinity edge or whatever.
Right.
And I use that. And then if I have something that needs like a black background or a darker background, I have like a navy blue satin and a black satin piece of material.
So, like I said, my area, like everybody knows, that's my shipping, my my pitching,
everything,
my everything area. I mean, I don't have an extra room to really, so everything behind my couch becomes my wonderful cutting area, boxing area. I just had to make a Franken box because I have something going out to Glenn today. So I just finished doing that. So
I think you have a knock on the door, Tommy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you got to really beat on that door because I don't hear it. Morning, Craig.
Oh yeah. It's another day in the neighborhood. Another 5 a.m. Had to be at work this morning, so that was a mess.
We're just basically talking about listing, Craig, and what motivates you, how picky you are on your pictures, and some of the practices you use during your listing process.
Well, pictures is the worst part. That's the part I hate the most. You know, doing the comps and building the draft. And if I repeat anything y'all talked about, please stop me. But you know, I do sell similar on everything. You know, just easier. I'll make sure that all the details are filled in with all the the product details, all those selected items you can do. Pictures, I'm not going to go crazy about it being perfect. I'm going to get the best shot I can within a reasonable amount of time. You know, because time is money. You know,
Right.
and a picture that's in that middle area. You know, if you've got a picture that's got 3 big toes sticking, you know, that's terribly bad, then that's going to affect your sale. But
right.
I don't think that a middle of the road versus a top line perfect picture is going to make that much of a difference. You know,
Right.
you know, I'm a firm believer if you have the right product and it's priced appropriately, people are going to buy it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You know, and that's why I'm not going to go crazy spending hours and hours on an item, especially if I'm not making that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now if it's a $500 or $600 item, I might give it a little more attention. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to ask too. Do people in chat? Do you build your listings from scratch, or do you use the sell similar? I use the sell similar a lot, but I really make sure because I have had errors where my item is similar, but not exact, and some of the details in the catalog would be wrong, and I wouldn't catch it. Now I'm very conscious to check to make sure.
Yeah, I do sell similar on pretty much all of my stuff. I did just have a return bite me in the butt the other day on a plush just because it had the wrong sizing in there.
Okay.
So that's the type of stuff you need to look for. You need to basically look over every detail of it. Sometimes it honestly could take a little extra time doing it that way if if there's a lot of intricate details you really need to go over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Todd's off and running. I'm sure he's going to work.
Did you see that new table he got yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
For free?
Thanks for coming in this morning, Todd.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, dude. It's a produce table that he got for free.
That's
So,
cool.
Have a good Todd.
Yeah, you got to be careful. If you do sell similar, obviously, like you talked about, you've got to check all the product details. You know, all that little section that's before your description.
Right.
But you've also one thing you got to be real careful of is somebody selling a product in the wrong category.
Right.
Because it's going to pull that category along with you. I haven't caught one, but I just know that could be a potential gotcha, and I always kind of keep an eye on it to make sure that it's in the right category. If you sell a lot of clothing, you know, it could be the wrong size.
Yeah.
I know that's caught me once. I called it before it sold, but you know, because and that's what I struggle with selling clothing and identifying clothing. You know, if it's a above average item and you're looking for a certain pattern, you know, or that pattern has a certain name or a certain style, trying to find that exact one. That's always been frustrating me with clothing is being able to pull those comps quickly. And maybe I'm looking at too much, you know.
But speaking of categories, here I got a question for you guys. Do you guys sell hats at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of hats.
When you have hats, like I got a bunch, sports hats, right? What
Yeah.
category do you list them under? Do you list them under clothing, hats, or do you list them under sports memorabilia and fanware?
If it's a ball cap,
Pretty much fan.
I'll list it under. If it's Major League Baseball, I'll list it under MLB.
Yep.
Memorabilia, and then there's one that's like fan apparel or something like that, isn't it?
Fan apparel. That's what it is. Yeah.
Because I mean, they're going to find it either way if they're just searching for a Pittsburgh Penguins, fitted hat or whatever. They're going to find it. It is the Penguins up there, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not a big
hat going on.
Yeah, we've got the hat on right now.
And truthfully, I really don't know how many people they're looking for a product go to a category and start looking for a product. Because in my opinion, I think a lot of people are looking for a specific item.
Yeah, but even when I'm searching for stuff, I type in, if it's a Hot Wheel, I'm looking for a certain Hot Wheel, I type it in that certain thing.
And you don't care what category it's in. You're just looking for that product.
Right.
And I understand eBay making it important that it's in the right category for aesthetic purposes and all that. But, you just, eBay doesn't take it lightly sometimes. You put certain items in the wrong category.
I've noticed that with doing OfferUp and Let Go. The way Let Go has their stuff set up, you have to go back in because they'll just throw it into any category. Like it'll say blue and white shirt. Well, wait a minute, that's not what I wanted. So you have to go back in and do an advanced setting, and you have to put it in the right category. It's getting annoying, and I think that's what people don't like. Just do it one time. Don't have to keep on going back in to fix stuff. So
yeah.
Man, titling. Where Anthony's got his topic tomorrow is going to be on the titling and the optimization, and that's where Craig was. I agree with. If somebody's looking for something, they're going to find it no matter what category it's in. If your title's done right, for sure. So right. we're focused a little bit more on that. But I'm just kind of trying to go down the list here. Do you guys use subtitles? Do you pay that $1.50 to add a subtitle or title of different?
No.
I have in the past for an item. I'm trying to think of what the situation was. I've probably done it once in the last 2 years. And I don't remember the situation.
I think I've done it once myself, and it was something that was like not big, but it was going to be a higher priced item. And I said, you know what, might as well add this in because I think it might throw a little bit more traffic at it. So.
I think back 5 years plus ago, a lot of people used to put, hey, free shipping before you got the free shipping label or fast and free or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Back even further back, there was so much into putting the crazy symbols and everything in your listing, the at look and the look here, and so a lot of people were taking up that the limited number of characters in the title, and then you had to use the subtitle to fill in. But I don't even know if it's been the last 2 years. I really don't remember the last time I did it. And that doesn't mean it's wrong if you do it.
And then, and then moving down, what about your custom label? I use it for inventory and inventory only. I know some people use it to keep track of what they paid for it or how long when they bought it or whatever. What do you guys do with your custom label field?
Right now, nothing. I need to though. I need to start, like I said, the process of actually figuring out where everything is exactly, so that way when it gets time to pull it, I go, oh, okay, well, that means it's in this drawer right here, you know what I mean, or
right
this bin up there.
That's what I do, and it helps a lot. I mean, I can pull my products. I don't have to remember where anything is because
it tells you.
Yeah, I go right to it and pull it. Every once in a while, something will get put back in, if somebody asks a question, it gets pulled out because they're asking a weird measurement or something, and it gets thrown back in the wrong drawer. Then I freak out and I get all frantic. Where is it? I can't find it.
I know you had that. So you and I remember we were talking the other day, and you had that problem.
Yes, and you know where it was? It was right here.
If it was a snake, it would have bit you.
Right. And
He's like sitting there going, I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. I'm like, oh boy.
And Jaslyn, my daughter, was actually the one that when I said, Jaslyn, see if you can help Dad find it, she walked right to it and picked it up, because to me, that product wasn't in its category location, because it was kind of old, and I started categorizing where I put things. So when I went, I didn't read my inventory label. I just went to where I thought it should be, and it wasn't there, and I was freaking out, and I thought it was lost, and I went and told Dad, I can't find this. I don't know what happened. I said, Jaslyn, help Dad find this. And she looked, she read the paper, and she walked right to it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people start that way. They start without an inventory system, without a bin location, a specific location for everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm again, everybody's different. Everybody has different ways of doing things. I know I started that way, and I got bit once or twice. I'm like, I've got to make a change. Because if you get that, if you have to cancel that order, do whatever you can to avoid canceling an order on eBay. It will hurt you. But yeah, I use the custom SKU. I put I probably talked about it before, but I put and not necessarily in this order, but these things. I put the date that I bought it, the location of the store, the name of the store, because I've got a couple of stores that have multiple locations around. I want to know if I'm selling a lot of things. If I'm selling more stuff from one store, I need to concentrate more on that store for sourcing.
Right.
So, date that I purchased it, location of the store, the name of the store, what I paid for it, and the bin it's going in. When I say bin, most of my bins are the big ones, and I try and keep. I've typically got breakables already bubble wrapped in one with handwritten, Sharpie or whatever on them. I don't necessarily have things that are exactly alike, but similar things like that, like breakables in one area. And all my electronic stuff, like the DVD combos, they're not in bins, but they're stacked up all together. Yeah.
Jen Mid stating, I bought this product from Walmart. It's called Packing Track. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Yes, I have seen it. I actually looked at it. It's I think if I remember correctly, it's made by the Duck brand that makes the duct tape.
Okay.
And it's a label you put on and you scan it. I don't know if it's got a barcode or what, but in the app you can type in what's in that box.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
To search. They're only a couple of dollars. They're not much. They're on my clearance on Walmart right now, and I think last time I saw them, they were like $3 or $4, and they're probably marked down lower than that.
Wow.
I considered using them.
I'm not sure.
I believe
because I know Rebecca's saying she wants to switch to the IKEA bag. She wants to do exactly what Uniquely Me was doing. Yep. Hey, speaking of, what is it? Like you say something, and all of a sudden she pops in. So, but yeah, it's with me. I think I'm going to start getting some of the small bins like Anthony has next to him, because with having this small space, I have to have something to keep track. I mean, I have my cases for my Hot Wheels where I can mark like Lonnie did with marking each car, so I know, okay, this is case C number 7. I do that anyway. But when it comes to other stuff with G.I. Joes and Star Wars and all that kind of stuff, I really have to break that down, because now I have close to 150 G.I. Joes now, and it's like, okay, which one's which? Where does this go?
And it's so nice when you deal in smalls. Like, you deal with a lot of smalls there, just to be able to like have a drawer. Like look, this is all like very tiny stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm doing it all off of memory, but like, I have a drawer right here full of like action figures and stuff like that. I have another drawer right here that's full of like nothing but NASCAR die casts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of know like items are with like items, and I'm going off of memory, but I'm getting to the point now where there's just so much of it that I have to do that numbering system.
Right.
And it's hard, because really to do it well, you got to do it. It's easier to keep up with if you do it from the beginning. And if you're going to do it, I don't know how everybody else does it, but I tend to do inventory about once a month. I go touch everything, verify it against my eBay listings, make sure what I've got. If you've got in locations like that, if you move something, hey, I need to make room for this. Let me stick this over here, and then all of a sudden you're where that.
Yeah.
But I do exactly the same thing. I'll do eBay to my bin location, and then if there's anything left, or I'll start the other way sometimes, and I'll get everything out of the bin and make sure that everything in that bin is marked to that bin. Because I've had situations where either I've ended an item by mistake on eBay and it's still sitting in the bin, and I don't know that it's unlisted.
Lonnie's saying if he did inventory once a month, he would waste 2 days.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh?
I feel like I would waste at least a full, like, if I was working an 8-hour day, it'd probably take me that much just to go through.
Right.
But then again, I don't have things like in the like, you know what I mean, organized like Tommy does. If I had them organized like Tommy does, it would be a lot easier.
Right.
For me going through and doing it, I would have to organize it the way Tommy does. So I would literally have to go through, pull up eBay, and be like, okay, this one has, for example, a Uso action figure, a Jeff Hardy action figure, and go through and actually put like, say this is bin 1, like B1. At the end of each one of those things, just to get.
That's how it gets done. You can organize your listings, your active listings by your custom label.
So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to try to get Ashley down here, and I'm going to try to have this up on eBay up on a tablet, eBay up on the computer, and then we'll just both go through and we'll just start pulling bins and pulling up what the listing is and editing. Putting B1, B2, whatever it is,
Right. Yeah, it makes it really easy because when you bring it up like that and you just go down the line and just say, okay, whatever is easier. I mean, if it's clothing, we have all our clothing poly bagged and marked, so then we just look for the item number. But if it's on the shelf, like practice golfing mug with a hole in it, and the number to verify, yep, that's here, and then move it kind of to the end of the shelf so there's a separation between what we went through and what we didn't. And okay, either something's not there and we need to locate it or see if it didn't get removed for whatever reason. And now we have 3 things on this shelf that aren't showing up on eBay, so these need to be relisted.
Right. I know Ryan and Pam just showed up from Thrift Minds. I want to welcome them in. Another thing is, and I think we talked about this before, with the inventory. Now, as you labeling it as soon as you buy it and putting it into a bin, or are you just sitting waiting on that stuff to be listed, then you set everything up?
I inventory it as I list it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do once I get the inventory system set up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm even going to number the shelves too, so that way I know the shelves aren't as big a deal for me, being that I can kind of look and be like, okay, well, this shelf has this, and that on it, and I do like items on shelves too. But I think I'm gonna number the shelves too, just for uniformity.
Yeah, well, that's all we have. We have simple, like our shelves are alphabetical and a number, so like this is our B shelf. So then it's like B1, B2, B3, B4, all the way down, however many shelves there are.
And Anthony, if you do label, I would almost suggest labeling your shelves, because what if something happens to you? You get sick and you have orders that need to go out. Then Ashley could go in there and know, hey, B1, it's right there.
That was kind of my idea and thought process, because I am going to have 2 hip surgeries, just waiting to drop a little bit of weight for it. Right. So whether it's Ashley or my mom popped over to do it, what I mean? I need to make sure that if something does happen to me, like you said, that orders are able to go out and my eBay business doesn't just, fall apart. Lonnie just said if I get sick, I am,
he's messed up. Yep.
Yeah, he said that he only uses custom SKUs when he has a lot of similar like items that can be easily confused. I inventory itemize numbers on every single thing, because like 2 years ago I did get sick and I was in the hospital for like a week, and I actually had to walk Destiny through shipping over the phone.
Right.
And if I wouldn't have had inventory locations, she would have had no clue where to look for the stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So this way, if something does happen to me, I mean, you can walk somebody through the actual shipping process, but try to remember when you're in a hospital 2 hours away, where this particular piece of clothing is. You
Yeah,
know,
I think it's here.
That'd be the only way to get shipping done.
Right.
Yeah.
And I see a bunch of people in the chat talking about I do or I don't, use this, do that. We've always said just because one person does one thing one way doesn't mean that it's right for anybody else,
Exactly.
Right or wrong, it's the way I do it, it's the way Anthony does it, it's the way whoever does it, I've said it multiple times, this game, this business is not a one size fits all solution, Everybody's got their own way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
right? And inventory too depends on, well, like with you, Ellie, it depends on the size seller. You didn't need an inventory system when you weren't as big of a seller, but as you're getting bigger, now you're finding it more difficult to recall where certain things are. And so, if you're a small seller, you have 200 things in your store, you might not need an inventory system.
Right.
But you start getting up there, 5, 6, 800, 1,200 items.
You gotta know, yeah. You really gotta know. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're just getting started, that's the easiest time to start one.
Right.
If you start it from the beginning, I think it's
Yeah, if you think you're just going to be a seller, I'm just doing this to maybe earn vacation money or something. I don't have no interest in becoming a big seller. I'm just a hobbyist. Maybe you never need to implement an inventory system. But if your goal is to become a full-time reseller and this is going to be your livelihood, your living, yeah, I would suggest trying to implement some type of inventory system from the beginning, because we didn't do it from the very beginning. We did it when we had about 250 items, when I started forgetting and losing track of where stuff was.
Yep.
And it's a lot easier to start it with less items and have a whole bunch of items that you now got to try to figure out an inventory system for.
Yep.
I've been putting it off, thinking, well, I know where everything is down here. I'm down here every day, constantly moving stuff around and blah blah blah. And that was BS. That was just me being lazy, trying to justify it. To be honest with you,
it's amazing how we do that with odd things like that,
Mm-hmm.
But
and I'm just like, oh well, it's going to be more beneficial, to the business for me just to spend today listing items, and not worrying about organization and all that stuff. But organization's important, you know what I mean? Because then you get those, just last week I sold a Hot Wheel car, brand new in the box, and I still can't find it. So what I ended up doing, just so I wouldn't have to cancel the order, was I put together like a little gift box with a whole bunch of loose stuff I had, and I sent that out to the buyer, and I just I told him, like, I'm sorry I couldn't find it. I'm going to refund your money and I'm going to send you a gift. And they were really appreciative. But for me to do that every single time that happens is just not good business on my part, because then I'm losing money.
But you had a very good point that organization is important. But I think it's one of the parts of the business that's the easiest to put on the bottom of the list sometimes. You think I got to do it. But like you said, I need to be listing, or I need to be packing, or I need to be doing this. It's one of those that's easily shuffled to the bottom of the list, I think.
And it's not so bad, like having like these drawers right here, because I have a ton of smalls. Like a good bit of my business is small items, So as long as I keep those organized, I think I'll be a lot better off, because I've never lost a big item. It's just smalls that I'm having issues with right now. But I think it's going to be a lot easier, because when I sell a plush, if off memory I don't know where that is, I'm digging through 8 or 9 tubs trying to find it.
Yeah.
Depending on like how old of a listing it is, it makes it so much harder for me to find. So I definitely need to get those organized, because I'm selling through like at least 2 to 3 of them a week, and they're getting tough to find.
Well, we had a bigger thing that sold the other day, and bigger items, bigger electronics, I pre-pack and box and whatever, so I have an accurate weight and measurement and everything for the shipping. And we sold it on Mercari. So when it's sold on Mercari, we removed the listing from eBay right away. But during our cross posting over to Mercari, we didn't. We usually put our inventory number in the Mercari description at the very bottom.
Right.
and somehow we missed doing that on this particular item. So the item had an inventory location and it had an ID number, but yet because it wasn't transferred over and it was already deleted, not just ended, it was ended and deleted off of eBay. So I couldn't even like bring up the ended ones to pull the inventory number. I couldn't find it because it was in a box. I couldn't even look for the item. I just kind of had to guess about, okay, it's in about this size box. I had to open up a couple of boxes and then found it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how lost I would be if I spent 15 minutes, and in 15 minutes I could have packed all my items and shipped them out. We had like 10 of them, so I could have 15 minutes had them packed, labeled, and ready to go to the post office.
Yeah, it doesn't take but one or two times of that happening to realize I need to do something, you know.
Right.
And usually that's what triggers, you know, somebody coming up with a, you know, some kind of system, whatever it is, getting bit by that. I can't find this item, you know.
Right.
That's one of the worst feelings in the world, especially not so bad on Mercari if you have to cancel a thing, but I hate canceling on eBay. I will offer them another item or double the credit in my store of the value that the purchase, just not to have to cancel that item.
Right.
Have you ever had an item that you couldn't find? Have you gone out to eBay and see if you could just order one from somebody and have it drop shipped?
I have done that. I had intentions of doing that, and I was going to do that with the item that I just told you I lost, that Jaslyn found for me, and I was just getting ready to do it. I just did a last chance. Jaslyn, see if you can help Dad find this, and she found it. But yeah, I already had it up on the screen ready to purchase.
Yeah, I was on with you that time, and you were looking at comps, and I'm like, dude, just go around and look for it. Just take a second, then you'll find it. And sure enough, there's Jaslyn popping around.
Yep.
I had that situation with a GameCube I sold it's been 6-8 months ago. I sold it and they got it and said, hey, it works great, but it's missing the cover. You know, the GameCube has a couple of covers that go over a couple of those ports on the bottom.
Right.
Man, I'm sorry. You know, I don't even know if I took pictures of the bottom of it. You know, so I didn't list it. It was missing. I said, I'm sorry. Let me go online. I just went on eBay and ordered one and had it shipped to them. You know, not the same situation, but you know, don't be afraid to use that. I mean, obviously, you can't do that with every item you sell. You know,
right?
Can't find it, especially if it's a one-off, unique item.
And what sucked about the item that I was going, it was a piece of hardware. I can't remember what it was. It was a piece of hardware, and I just happened to be the cheapest one selling it, and so I had to pay I was going to lose money on doing that. I wasn't even going to be a break even. I had to pay for more than what I sold it for.
Right. I'd be willing to lose money if I had to order something to fulfill an order. Order it off of eBay to fulfill an order.
Absolutely.
Lonnie defines chaos oddity comforting. With me being an executive chef and being on the run constantly before, I do see that myself. That even though I want to do inventory and everything like we used to, but controlled chaos is what I was calling it on the line. And if I didn't have it, then it was going to be a bad night. So same thing with the business. If it has to be controlled chaos for me, you know, I know what I'm doing. I know where everything is, but don't mess it up because I'm going to smack you around and get out of my way. I know what my role is, and I know what I need to do. So
yeah. And I'm typically the same way. It's comforting to me just knowing where things are and not having to take the extra steps.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, if my nephews come over, they're kids, they're going to want to see, oh, cool, you have this toy and you have that thing and blah, blah, blah. So they're going to want to grab stuff, touch stuff, play with stuff. And then they might not put it back where I had it. You know what I mean? So I'll go to reach and I'll be like, okay, I know for a fact it's literally sitting right here. And then it'll sell 2 weeks later and it won't be there anymore. You know,
that's always a crazy feeling. You get that order and you think, oh, I know it's right here. You go there, it's not there. You're like, okay, when was the last time I saw it? When's the last time I remembered seeing it? What was it? You know?
Yep.
But that's why I like to tend to take that guesswork out of it. You know?
Right.
So I heard you say, Tommy, I'll use the window blinds. Roll down for your background sometimes.
Yeah, just regular white window shades. I don't know if you can see it here.
Yep.
But I just got it over a shower pole that's one of those spring-loaded ones in between shelves.
Right.
And it's just got like the infinity edge that goes down, so I don't have any like corners or creases.
Yep.
And then I have it on that pole because then when I use my mannequins or I'm going to do a hang, then I just drop that out of the way. And then I got, which is actually a drop-down roll-up movie screen.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. There you go.
Retractable movie screen, and then I can put my mannequins in front of that, slide the table out of the way, or do my big hanger flat lay type look.
Right.
Okay, Cliff. Throwing out some Blazing Saddles.
That was a good movie.
It is a good movie.
We definitely appreciate everybody showing up. We got a decent crowd again today. I know we say it every day, but we definitely appreciate everybody showing up and paying attention, you know, offering, being interactive and offering information. So,
Right.
And then do all you guys have stores, or do you just have accounts? Or
Yeah, I have a store.
and then in your store, is your store categorized? Like, do you have your own personal categories, or do you go by categories?
Yeah, I'm also categorized in the store as well.
I've got categories, but I'm trying something a little different over the last handful of months. I've got a new category, so by default, everything that gets listed goes into a new category first. And then I may change this. I know you can now filter listings down by how long it's been on the site, but the reason I used it was it would stay in there for X number of days, whether it was 30, 60, 90 days. And then after that, it went into a new category. You know, it's real category of where the product belongs. And then I always run sales on anything but new, you know, because I know it's already been out there a certain period of time.
Gotcha.
That's actually a pretty good idea too. See, I run my sales. I just run them store wide. I price accordingly, knowing that I'm going to have sales, you know, and I run those constantly and consistently, and they usually vary between 15 and 20%. And I run them for 48 hours at a crack.
Yeah, I did the 48 hour, whatever sale I'm running, it always goes 48 hours at a time.
You know,
and the same thing with promoted listings. But again, just because I do it doesn't mean it's right.
Right. I found that I personally like the 48-hour sale because you get that little red countdown clock on your listing.
Right.
I think that kind of pushes. I know when I'm looking at things to buy, if I see the countdown clock, I'm a little bit more pressured to buy it before that sale ends versus if I just on sale, because now, you know, I got time left to shop around.
Makes sense.
Yeah. True. You got any big plans today besides working?
Getting my new living room set delivered today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Did they pick it up yesterday? Did your sister-in-law pick it up yesterday?
Yeah, she picked it up literally. By the time the show ended, I had to run upstairs and kind of direct traffic.
Are you gonna leave the plastic cover on the couch? Or are you gonna?
We use the couches. These are like the nice ones too. They're like all reclining, and you know they got like the cup holders and all that stuff. So looking forward to it.
So we're not gonna see that green screen image behind you anymore. You're gonna be kicked back on the lazy chair.
You might. I don't know.
That's
I'm not going to be kicked back though. That's for sure.
They hear
you.
Yeah. Cliff saying, Tommy, a while back you mentioned an app to help measuring clothes. For what is that called again? He's branching out from hard goods.
Yeah, Sizely. It's a. I don't know if there's so much an app. I use the web version of it, and basically what Sizely does is it shows like what you have. If you have a polo or a pair of pants, and if they're pleated pants, even versus jeans, like it'll show a diagram of it, and then the measurement from like shoulder to shoulder, sleeve length from seam to the end of the cup. Because some people, you know, you go to sleeve length, some people measure from here to the end of the cup. Some people measure from here, and it just kind of, you can put your measurement in there and then download that picture and add it to your eBay listing. So when you're measuring, they know exactly what you've measured, where your measurement came from.
Right. And whoever came up with that app, that was a good idea. Or that website, that was a good idea.
Right. And they have it. It covers like shirts, dresses, pants, tuxedos, jeans, shorts, just about every type of thing you can think of is clothing to measure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
West Max Gary just jumped in. Welcome in, guys.
Yeah.
Glad you can make it.
Dawn's asking any recommendations for the Highway 127 sale. Mary and I will be hitting that next weekend. Don't go.
If you go, buy low and make sure you can sell high.
Yeah.
Don't take a moped.
Highway 127 sale, but yeah, for me, if I was going, I would try to maximize the opportunity of going to a sale like that. I would try to fill whatever vehicle you're coming with as much cheap stuff as you can get, and that would be me. That's always my strategy when I go to a special sale like that. If it's a community sale, some kind of a highway sale or anything like that. My goal, like for example, I'm going to visit Derek in September, and we're going to go to Brimfield, which is like literally a whole town that's going to be like a giant flea market yard sale type thing. I already told Derek, me and my wife were renting a van, and my goal is to leave after that week with that van full with enough inventory to cover my entire trip.
And that was
I have four of those boxes already ready, so you can use them and fill it up.
and that was our goal too. We figured we'd drive out there. I have an Explorer SUV, and we figured we'd drive out there, load up as much as we can, and actually, so we have a place to put it, and still be able to have easy access to our clothing and our coolers and stuff we'd actually have in the truck. Is renting a small enclosed U-Haul that we could just keep.
And the ones you pull behind the ones
try to stop it,
because you don't have to worry about the mileage and all that.
Right. Just a little trailer and try to jam pack it. So like Anthony says, so we can make what the trip costs. Plus, and you can write some of the trip off as a business expense because you actually did sourcing for business.
Right.
And be sure, I've not been to a sale like that before, but be sure you hit the ones that are off the beaten path. You're gonna have a lot of, I don't know if it was D mentioned, professional sellers. Anything that's a lot of the stuff on the main drag is gonna be people that are vendors per se.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, but you're gonna get your better finds on just the individual that's out there just for the weekend, and they just like the normal family doing a yard sale.
Right.
So look for those that are off the beaten path.
And just be careful because I know the 127. There are people that just will pull out. They don't care, and there's been accidents all up and down the 127 just because people aren't paying attention. So just be safe. It's nuts.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I know. Ricardo's saying he buys a lot of storage units, but what I've seen is I've seen people get 25 to 30% of stuff out of the whole storage unit. I mean, yeah, sometimes you get those big home runs, but most of the time it's 80% trash.
It's a lot of work. People make good money at it. I've never bought one. I've looked and looked, and I don't know if I'm looking. I'm looking too close to try and find one or two items I know I can make a lot of money on.
Right.
If it's just I just need to take a risk and just go get one that's a reasonable price, and risk $50, $60, $100,
Right.
And my concern is getting in that situation where it's 80-90% jump.
Well, that's what Scotia Sells and Marrakesh saying that they want to rent a booth one weekend at a flea market. If it's stuff that you can't get rid of on eBay, that's the best bet. Just go out there one day and just do it.
That's what I do.
And that's what me and Destiny did. We had our seasonal flea market booth, that we rented by the year. It was actually a shed, so we didn't have to pack up and unpack. Just bring things out of the shed and then roll them in when we were done. And that's what we did. We we buy not auction storage units, but I'd go to a lot of local auctions. So I'd get a lot of stuff where there's one or two items in this big lot that I want for eBay, and that's how we'd liquidate the other 30 items, that aren't worth a ton. But we ended up giving that up because, you know, that's every weekend. And we figured, well, we can do the same thing and just do it a couple weekends a year and not have the overhead of renting it by the year and be obligated to be there every weekend.
Right. West Max Gary says, can I ask what the best way to source goods to sell? Garage sales, swap meets. To everybody, it's on preference. Garage sales, yard sales, thrift stores, and flea markets work for me. For Anthony, it might be something else. Tommy uses grocery stores. You know,
For me, the absolute cheapest, most ROI that I've found personally is yard sales, but also Goodwill bins are good too. But for me, I always look for like the small items, you know, like the unique items at the bins. But yard sales you can't beat a yard sale. They're absolutely the best I've found as far as sourcing stuff cheap and selling it high.
people want the true yard sailors want to get rid of the stuff. That's why they're having a yard sale.
Right.
You know.
And it really depends. Again, that's another one of those one size doesn't fit all, you know, kind of situations, especially. You know, they're using Jason Banana Finds as an example. He's up there closer to Philly, and he buys a lot of industrial tools, but he's getting a lot of that stuff at auction.
Mm-hmm.
You know? He's able to find it because the area he's in, you know, and some people have really good luck at thrift stores.
Right.
But, you know, I know, Anthony, I know, like you said, you do a lot at the bins.
Yeah.
You know?
We do bins too. I mean, I think the bins are great if you don't have a lot of capital to work with.
Right.
Because you're paying by the pound on most items.
Yep.
And but the deal with me is, you know, mine is 3 hours away, north or south, you know, again, just, it's a lot of this stuff is really hard to say what's the best. It's what's the best for you.
There's so many variables. It you know, it depends on what type of capital you're working with, how close your bins are.
Yep.
What are you trying to sell? Do you want to sell used things? Do you want to sell new things? Are you going for the quick nickel or the slow dime? You know, there's a lot of variables, and each person, like you say, what works for you doesn't work for everybody. I'm kind of a mixture. I'll do the quick nickel if it's a replenishable item.
Right.
For sure. I do both.
Otherwise, I'm after the slow dime. I want the bigger items that are more specific to what somebody's looking for. Not everybody is looking for this. You know, there's a handful of people that are looking for it, but the ones that are looking for it will pay up for it.
Yep.
So I try to have that diversity of, I get everyday sales from my semi-common stuff or my replenishable stuff, but then I also have what I call the cherry-picked items that's where I make my money. You know, everything else just kind of pays the bills, and then I have my things where I make my money.
Yeah, Anna Trejo is saying you have to go super early for yard sales to get the best stuff. Not always.
Yeah, that was going to be. I agree. You know, does it help? Yes, but I'm sure I don't know if everybody on the panel can say this, and then you probably some situation or another you have. I know I've walked into an estate sale or a yard sale right before they shut up and closed shop, and you're like, I can't believe this is still here.
Right.
And I don't have any specific example, but you know, just because something's there at 11 o'clock doesn't mean that, and they're closing at 11:01 doesn't mean it's not good. You know.
Right.
The nice thing about the end of the day too is people just want it gone. I love going, like, I like being the cleanup guy at some yard sales like that. I've been to a lot of community sales where people are just leaving stuff out in the yard for people to take because they don't want to put it back in the house. And I'm the guy I'll go around in my van and I'll just pile it in there. You know, I'll have it so full that it'll be hard for me to drive home just because I want to get the free stuff to take to the flea market.
Right.
But on that same hand, you know, on the opposite hand, you know, getting there early for the best items, something like video games. You know, if they've listed on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, and they're saying we've got this assortment of video games and they're showing pictures, you better be there early because that stuff's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And,
What I do if I see a sale like that advertising video games, I'll shoot them an email. Hey, can I come buy them off you before the sale even starts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the things that make it through are those things that are not as quote unquote common,
Yeah.
to the end of the sale. Maybe you have a better eye for it, somebody else doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always constantly checking Craigslist and Facebook every day, because people will put up a yard sale that's going to be on Saturday and they'll put it up today, and you'll be like, okay, I want to be the first one to see what's going on, and then like you said, email them or send them a message. And
I don't know how it is in your areas, but in my area, early bird gets the worm. For example, if you're starting your yard sale at 8 a.m., people show up at your house at 7 a.m.
Yes. Yep.
That's how it is here. And it's by the time 8 a.m. comes up and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be like one of the first people there. I'm going to get those video games. I'm going to get this or that. They're like, oh, somebody came by at like 7:15 and they bought everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you guys do your rummaging and you go to your rummages, do you look things up at the rummage?
It all depends.
If I'm going to have to spend a considerable amount of money, I'll comp it. But for the most part, I blind pick when I'm, out at yard sales because I get stuff so cheap.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is.
Even if I'm like off on what I think it's worth, I'm still making money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And obviously we all have our areas that we know best. I know electronics, Derek knows NASCAR, everybody's got their own knowledge, and Derek could probably walk up and just grab a car and say, I don't care what it is, I'm buying it,
Right.
knowing. And I think that helps, that knowledge, and over time that knowledge increases and you're able to buy things without comping them. But I think I'm with Anthony. The more I spend, the more apt I am to at least consider comping it before I buy it.
Right.
When you do your rummages in flea markets, do you hide the fact that you're a reseller?
I'm not going to come out and say that I am, but am I going to turn my back and,
Yeah.
I
don't ever,
Yeah.
if you ask me, hey, why are you buying all of this stuff? Most of the time I'll just say, well, I collect some of this and then I sell, some of this too. So I don't ever hide it. And in fact, if I see that there's somebody that has really good stuff and they know what they're doing as far as selling, typically I'll try to build a connection with them, see if, we can have an ongoing relationship as far as me sourcing from them.
Right. Same thing. Like you go in and like not 90% of the time now, I have my camera with me when I'm at yard sales. First thing people will ask, oh, what's up? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, well, I'm filming for my YouTube channel. I go around and show what I buy from the yard sales and flea markets, and people are all psyched about it. And they'll be like, oh, I have this stuff or whatever. Do you do a lot of this? Or what are you mainly looking for? And that's when you start getting more involved with the people. And
that's what I found. If I'm just straight up with the people, and especially if I'm negotiating with them, I'll tell them straight out, I'm a reseller. I'm going to resell this, and I'm only willing to give you this much because I need to make some money too. And a lot of times, what I find is I get my negotiation price, and they're trying to sell me more stuff.
Right, because they know you want to buy in bulk.
Right.
Yeah. And the good thing too is even if you get to a place and it's been cleaned out by a reseller earlier than you got there, what I do is because I'll always ask people, you got video games, and even if they're like, oh man, somebody came and cleared us out, and I was like, well, you got any more in the house, like anything that they'd be willing to part with? And then typically you'll get stuff that's better than what they already sold.
Right.
You never know if you ask,
Yeah.
All they can say is no.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start asking about other things.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You never know, especially when and everybody laughs. Oh, well, you're going to a community sale, or you're going to, like we had a nursing home have a yard sale, and everybody's like, well, why are you going to go there? Why are you going to go there? It's not going to be anything good. They already got rid of all this stuff before they went to the nursing home. I'm like, no. Sometimes 90% of the time it's the employees that are bringing stuff to put into the piles because they don't have time to do the yard sales and everything. So you can go in there and find some amazing stuff that you wouldn't even know that you would think you'd find.
Yeah. What's up, Pat? Welcome in. Glad you could stop by. Why does it have to be about the nursing home? Come on.
I'm sorry. They give pistachio pudding, so
Yeah.
We're at 10:12, so we have a couple of minutes before we're going to wrap up here. You guys got any final words of wisdom you want to make sure it gets in here, or any events coming up or videos or?
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say the only thing I really have to share is tomorrow morning. This is on my channel, and we will be talking about eBay listing optimization, and we'll probably even talk a little bit about YouTube optimization as well, just because it kind of falls under the same blanket title optimization. So that's what we're going to be going over. I'll drop a link to my channel down below, and that way, if you're not sub, so you can watch a show with us tomorrow.
Nice. And then on Friday it goes back to your channel, Craig, right? We're doing it on your channel on Friday.
Yeah, I need to come up with something.
Yeah.
Send me that list you have that we haven't used yet, Anthony, if you don't mind, from the viewers. And I'll see if there's something on there that'll work for us.
All right. That's cool. And like I said, today I have my live at 2:00. We are doing 28 Monster Jam trucks. So at the end of that, you have to pick 1 through 28. You will not see the trucks. You just have to put a number in the comment at the end of my live at 2:00, guys. So that's what we're doing. And then, of course, the racing on Friday night. We'll be rocking it.
It's a day that ends in Y, so you've got to have a live, right?
Yep. That's right. Hey, I'm at 215,000 minutes. I'm getting there.
The first 215 are the easy ones. The last 25 are going to be the hardest ones, probably.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just stay after it. You'll be fine. But I don't really have anything. I just want to say thank you to everybody that stopped by, whether you were here for 2 seconds, 5 minutes, or the whole time. It's great to have everybody show up and listen and contribute, and we really enjoy it. Hope y'all enjoyed as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I don't really have a whole bunch of anything going on. I just got to work here and get caught up. I got a list of content that I'm going to do. YouTube. I got 4 videos that I want to work on right off the bat. So
hey, videos coming, content coming from the Bargain Effect.
Yeah, finally.
Wow, what is that?
Keep an eye out on that. And then I've been getting some questions through email and even through some private chats and whatever, where people ask me to, and I'm by no means like a professional, but people have asked me to give the opinion of their store or any things that they think I could point out that might improve their listings. So what I'm kind of gearing towards next week when I host on Wednesday is maybe doing a couple live store evaluations. And if you'd like to get on that list, give me an email at thebargaineffect@gmail.com. Also have it down here in the description. Or if you want to comment on the video there, or email me, however you'd like to get a hold of me. And you don't mind having your store critiqued live, might even bring you some customers. I think that's what I'm going to do for next week's topic is, and then you won't just have just my opinion because I'm just one person. Maybe we can all take a look at their store and maybe catch what the other one misses or give suggestions.
Or we may get stuff from the chat.
Right.
They say, hey,
figured live, they can get an open critique. Not any one person's word is gold or the way it should be. So I think a conglomeration of thoughts on it might really help people out. And I wish there was people that were doing that when I was first starting. How can I improve my listing? How can I improve my store?
Right.
Yeah.
And some of those improvements could be, hey, you've never sold that item before, and somebody else has, and they say, why aren't you using this keyword?
Right.
Right.
That's a good item.
And if you sell Nintendo stuff, maybe I'll buy something from you.
Yeah, exactly. Get some people in your store. So that's about that. We're at 10:16. So if you guys have nothing else, I think we're gonna call it a day and see each other tomorrow on Anthony's channel about the listing optimization. That's a good topic right there. I like that one.
Yep. Good deal.
So, all right. So then with that, I guess we're out. Y'all have a great day. Be productive. Do what you got to do. And with that, we're out.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Should we count it down? Count it down, Craig.